Welcome to Envision Broadcasting, the station designed to encourage, equip, and empower you for growth and success presents The Momentum Shift. A show where we get inspired, we get moving, and we get results. Every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern with your host, Eric Collier. He's the mayor of motivation and mental quicksand expert, bringing you inspiring interviews and empowering stories that will help to improve lives. If you're ready to start making the impossible possible, then you've joined the right show, because the Momentum Shift is what you've been looking for.
Hello and welcome to the Momentum Shift. I'm your host, Eric Collier, also known as the Mayor of Motivation. Excited to have you joining us today. There are moments in life when frustration becomes fuel, when seeing a broken system becomes the spark that ignites a builder, and when the gap between what is and what should be becomes too loud to ignore. Today's guest didn't just hear that gap, he answered it. Eddie Yee is a momentum shifter. And during the pandemic, while the world was scrambling for stability, Eddie was inside the healthcare system, watching outdated processes fail the very people they were meant to serve. Marketing was broken, staffing was broken, operations were broken. And instead of waiting for someone else to fix it, this momentum shifter stepped in and said, I'll build it. That decision didn't just launch a business, it launched a portfolio. And today we're diving into the mindset shift that turned one client into a multi-company empire. The power of building before you feel ready, and how AI is reshaping the future of local business growth. This is the Momentum Shift, and this is the conversation that will help you rise up, rebuild, and redefine what's possible. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome my guest, Eddie Yee. Eddie, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, man, I told you, I like your story, man. It's huge. You're a momentum shifter, and I just want to jump in with our first question, and that is simply this. Your story, like I said, starts at a place where a lot of people can relate to. So when we talk about momentum shifting, you're being inside a system that's broken down. You take this moment and opportunity to say, I'll do this. Take us back to that moment and what you were seeing in healthcare during the pandemic that pushed you from employee to successful entrepreneur.
Well, quite an intro. Thank you for that. Yeah, momentum shifter. Wow, I quite a term. Yeah, I really appreciate that. So yeah, taking back how everything kind of started is back in 2010 when I first graduated, and that was my first job at a preventive care facility as a case manager. And there I got to learn how to deal with consumers, the clients directly, and it was a clinical setting. So I was doing a lot of consulting. I was doing counseling. But what really changed was I got to the management level. I was really fortunate enough to get a role as an executive director um, as my second job. So after I would say 3 to 4 years into my career, I got into again the managerial or executive role at a preventive care facility in Los Angeles.
Okay, hold on a second. So you said 3 years, 4 years after graduating?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that's young, man, for an executive director. That's a big shift right there. But
Yeah, yeah. Again, I don't take obviously I don't take that for granted. I don't believe that it happened because of who I was. It was God's blessing. It was also the timing. So I was lucky enough to be again executive director at a very similar preventive care facility in Los Angeles, and there I got to learn the management of a business. It was still a mom and pop shop that was doing around, I don't know, 4 to 5 mil a year, and I was managing about 25 staff members, and that included admin staff in about 8 different departments, many of them being clinical.
Okay.
like social workers, nurses, physical therapists, and occupational therapists and whatnot. Anyway, but when you're a executive director at a mom and pop clinic, you're still the one who has to go up on the roof when there's a heavy rain, and it's not every component of an operation is gonna be there. Every the staff members and everything is optimized so that the owner or the people in the behind the scene can get margin out of that business. That's the whole point of having a business is to not only you're solving the problem, but you're also earning income out of it, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was optimizing the operations. I was also heavily involved with the clinical finance. Again, everything about this about this business, I got to learn inside and out. And and because I was what 23, again a young kid managing a business. One thing I hated doing was in HR.
Okay.
As you can imagine, you don't have all these happy conversation,
Yeah.
in HR, right? So it's gonna be employee relation issues. There's gotta be benefit issue, pay issue, employee. Again, I hated doing HR because of it, right?
Okay.
I had to be very, very careful, what the word choices, the gesture, the etiquette, everything about HR I hated it doing. So ironically, I created a company out of it because I hated doing it. So I don't have to do it again. I don't have to do it myself. But it started as a component of an HR, which was staffing and recruiting. I knew there was about 350 different, centers just like it across, well, in California. I'm in Los Angeles.
Gotcha.
So I knew there was about 350 centers just like it. So I target those 350 centers. I said, hey, here's a staffing and recruiting needs, or a service provider that's gonna help you with your needs. And I know there's gonna be, I know you guys are having difficult time retaining. I know you guys are having difficult time, fulfilling these roles, and it's all adhered to the city, county, and state requirements. The staff to patient ratio. So there has to be some kind of a um, system behind it that nobody actually had. So I knew that there's a niche and there's a gap behind it. So I created a company out of it. And that was back in 2018. In 2019, what happened? COVID hit,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And because I was in the healthcare space, everybody needed staff, right? Especially in Los Angeles, where again, 2 years into COVID, the school wasn't opening, and the children at school were driving, or children kids at home were driving parents home crazy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, so they were
Medical
pressuring.
appointments via Zoom.
Right, right. Well, a lot of stuff kind of, transitioned from that point on. But, I was fortunate enough again at that moment where this company who was awarded about $250 million from the federal government to do COVID testing to LA Unified School District. And they had no operations to back it up. So they awarded money, but they had no staff members, no infrastructure, no human capital to back up their operations. So they were just calling staffing companies left and right. And we were one of them because we were doing staffing and recruiting at that point. And there I got to staff about 4,000 people to that company where they're doing COVID swabbing and lab testing and couriers and whatnot. So that's how my venture sort of begun. And this is while I was doing a full-time job. And you can kind of see that if I'm placing these thousands of people, it was affecting my full-time work. So I had to kind of transition out of that. And I knew at one point that COVID wasn't gonna last long.
Right.
So I start doing different campaigns so that I can start getting more non-COVID related projects. And a couple of them succeeded. So I replicated over and over, and I start seeing patterns of how B2B marketing works. So I create a company out of that, and that's called the Ditans Group, as you can see from the logo here. It means empowerment. So we're empowering other businesses to replicate what I succeeded in digital marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of how these two companies started. And because I'm in the digital space now, with an AI being the thing, I there was a lot of different automations I had to take a look into, and finding different efficiencies, and doing the quality control. So I created an IT company that focused on AI and automation tool development. So that company is called Omni Solutions, and these three companies basically became a focal three major services pillars, which now every business can really take advantage of or leverage on.
That's cool, man. That's big because like what you say you hated doing HR, so you found an opportunity to be able to create a business to solve that pain. I like it, right? Out of pain comes success.
Yeah, yeah. It's the pain point, right? It's a pain point that you have, and you try to make that opportunity, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think one of the things I saw when doing my research and reading up on you was you said that done is better than perfect. Talk to me about that phrase, man, and that mindset that holds tends to hold people back.
We, I gotta tell you, you're a very good host, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, you search. Yeah, so actually, that's kind of my model is that because you see well, I have five companies right now at this point,
Right.
but exactly to the point where you're coming in at. Get something done or try this and try that and see what's working and see what's not working, and you try to optimize. You try to do quality control. You try to create a policy, SOP, and procedures out of everything that you're doing so that you can piggyback off of that and try to become more successful afterwards.
Yeah.
So, and again, like a lot of times, the entrepreneurs and business owners out there, they're afraid that they're gonna fail. And this is very cliche things to say, but you won't know until you actually try it.
Yeah.
And you just gotta build upon that. And with all this, tools nowadays, you can be more efficient than I am now because it's gonna give you a lot of data. It's gonna give you a lot of insight as far as what you're trying to do. Market research. But I had to do everything offline and kind of get a feel for myself
Right.
and fail that way. But it's still I was able to again optimize and improve and I'm still improving. I'm not saying I'm perfect yet.
Right.
There's nobody, right? Nobody's
We're always under
perfect.
construction.
Right. So R&D is probably the most important thing that I look at as far as the business activities go. R&D is the most activity for me. Um, and that we're always trying new things, that we're always testing new things, and we're trying to get some feedback out of that.
Yeah.
So,
See, I like that model you have because, like you said, it's about taking the step and moving forward. I always say, take your shot. You never know if you're going to hit it or not. Just take your shot. At least you'll have the results to work with to be able to move forward from there. So, is that a mindset or a philosophy of yours that's been that way for ever? Or is that just something created when you decided that you were going to become an entrepreneur?
um, yeah, I wish I had some kind of a mentor who taught me and who could kind of, who had told me these type of things and just try it and you failed 7 times, you get back up 8 times and keep trying. There was nobody like that. I was seeking for it. I was literally cold calling a lot of different people for mentorship, but I sort of had to learn it through the hard way. Um, but yeah, what really motivated me is the survival, right?
Right.
It's like I was doing enough to survive,
Okay.
but then I got to the point where okay, well, if I don't do more, then I'm not gonna be able to survive. So that became a like a motivator for me.
Okay.
Became a mission for me. So. Yeah, yeah, that actually changed everything. I think that changed my mindset overall.
Okay. So now let's ask you this because a lot of times people say, well, you do more, eventually you're going to burn out. You ever experience that experience, and how did you overcome that?
Oh, of course. I go this process over and over because it's burdening to think about and juggling different industries and different sectors, simultaneously, and it does get burned out, and you start to
You're doing it all by yourself at some point, right?
yeah, yeah. Yeah. And when you look at a business structure, um, of course, top being the CXOs, right? CEO, COO, CFOs. Their roles are actually simpler, right? What they have to do is just become a visionary because you have a business philosophy and trying to solve a problem. But what gets complicated is the divisions of these operations, right? There's an external division that brings in the clients and revenue, and you do marketing, all of that, right? Customer service. And then there's a fulfillment division where you have to deliver on what you promise on marketing. You have to manage your human capital so that they're happy and that you're retaining them. And then the internal division where all the R&D and SOP and administration, quality control, communication, all that happens. So like in my head, right, I'm thinking about all these structures
Mhm.
for each of the company because that's how healthy companies should be structured. And I do get burned out because at one of those activities, I don't I'm not gonna because just because again I'm a human with one hand and two hands. I'm not gonna be able to fill all those bubbles or activities. So when I know that these bubbles or these business activities aren't fulfilled, then I do get burned out, and I know I'm being behind on certain things. So what I try to do is just focus, just be selective, focus on one activity, and if I can have somebody replicate the way that I think and the way I operate, then I move on to the next business category, next business activity.
Okay.
Or else, again, it's only going to keep adding to the burden and just stressing you. I have this yeah, I started having developing tinnitus where you can hear the beeping sound behind your ears. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And it's all stemmed from stress because I'm thinking about business, I'm thinking about work all day.
Okay.
So I try to step away and try to just, spend more time with kids. I have two kids,
Okay.
more family time, and when I do experience that, yeah, I try to just stay away from stressors.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, that's big because it takes you away from your family time, enjoying your family time, right?
Yeah, that's right.
You're with them and you're focused on the problem that you're trying to solve instead of
Yeah,
being present, right?
yeah,
So
that's right.
let me ask you this. Let's touch on that. So do you have like routines or habits and behaviors you incorporate to really get your mind set for the to attack the day?
Yeah, so I like to operationalize everything, and that's just how I think. Um, and and what I mean by that is, people tend to say, like, I'm stressed, right?
Yeah.
But how I think is that, okay, what defines stress, right? What type of symptoms am I having right now? Am I having how frequent is my tinnitus is coming? Or how many hours of sleep am I getting on an hourly basis? And how many times do I stop myself from thinking about work because of stress? So these are all measurable and it's something that you can define, right? So what I do is when I catch myself having these type of symptoms, right? I stop, I take a step back and say, okay, this is probably hindering my health, the quality of work I'm producing right now, and I should really just focus on one thing at a time. Or maybe if I'm not being efficient nor productive, maybe I shouldn't do anything at all. Maybe just deep breath and just enjoy the moment right now. And then when I'm ready to give my 100% back, maybe that's when I should go back, right?
Right.
Hopefully that answers that question.
Yeah, it does. I think it's because you have to find a way. We're talking about momentum shifting. There's time when we're feeling stuck or we're feeling, like you said, things aren't getting going the direction we want to go. Our health might be failing, and like I said, we slow down, and we have to find a way to continue to move forward. And if we don't realize that health is important, we can really drive ourselves into the ground. And if we're not capable of putting the work in or doing what we need to do, a lot of things will fall.
Yeah, I mean, what's the point of doing all this if you're not gonna be there to enjoy
Exactly.
and see it actually become a tangible thing, right?
Yeah, I'm doing this for my family, but you never spend time with your family,
Yeah,
and then you find
that's right.
yourself laid up somewhere because you're having health issues and you really can't enjoy them, and they're sitting here worrying about you. So, yeah,
Yep,
very, very important to take care of that health and that peace of mind.
I agree.
So when you decided that you were going to step into becoming this entrepreneur and taking over the marketing side of the house, right? What were some of the biggest challenges you had to overcome mindset wise to really step into this? Because like, what did you say? All right, I'm really just going to jump off the cliff and go right in, or did you have to kind of talk to yourself for a little while?
The biggest challenge, and aside from all this health issues and mental issues, right?
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah,
operations and the business challenges. I always try to think challenges are um, some opportunity. If you convert that into an opportunity, that's where the differentiator kind of happens. Is that how are you different from other businesses that are doing the same thing? Who's your competitor, right?
yeah.
So let's say for marketing standpoint, if I'm becoming just another fulfillment center,
Okay.
and and if somebody can come in and say, "Hey, I can do the same thing that this agency does, but keep the quality of work, but I could do it cheaper," right? That business is gonna win all my existing clients' hearts because essentially that's what a business owner wants to do is to optimize their costs and again while producing the same amount of work, right?
Yeah.
Or produce the same amount of results. So the biggest challenge has always been how can I survive, especially in this AI era where it's such an easy, or it's so easy for anybody to do anything and create a company out of everything, right? Anything and everything.
Mhm.
How can I survive through this AI era? Okay, without really compromising the quality of work. So, and that's always the challenge, always gonna be the challenge for probably just not for me, but everybody really.
Yeah.
How can I do what I do, but nobody can kind of just undercut me or just replicate and benchmark everything that I'm doing?
Yeah.
So what I do is try to become non-replaceable, right?
I like it.
Try to build, proprietary web or app services, and that it brings in value to customers that they can kind of say, okay, well, uh, you know, um, I can't really get this elsewhere. I
Yeah.
have to stick with this company. And you kind of see the shift in dynamic where, the clients are all, well, as a service provider, you're always looking for new clients and they become sort of the decision maker over your services, like how you should be working and how much that you should be charging this client.
Right.
But if I become non-replaceable, then then the dynamic sort of shifts a little bit and I can become more of a mutual standing, right? Um, and that's what I try to do with all the businesses I have. I don't want to just become a fulfillment center that's replaceable.
Yeah. I think, man, it's great how you put that because you always gotta find a way to stay on top, right? I like I don't know if you follow college football, but Nick Saban, best coach ever. Although I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan, that hurts that he dominated my team. But anyway, but he always talks about how it's tough to keep the king of the mountain understanding that hey, you still got work to do. And so I think that's how do you keep reminding yourself, hey, look, we still got work to do. You know, you bringing in millions, but we still got work to do.
Yeah, yeah. Work's never done.
Yeah,
Kobe says work is not done.
exactly right. Would say quit at the end, not in the
Or
middle.
job is not done, is what he said.
Say quit at the end, not at the beginning, not in the middle, right?
Yep, yep.
Yeah. I think what is it? So talk to me a little bit about Ditans Group and what it is and what you actually do. I know you
Well,
touched on it a
it's a
little
digital
bit
marketing
already,
company.
but I
Yeah,
just want to kind of make sure we highlight Dighton's group and we really get people to understand.
sure, sure. I thank you. So Ditans Group, again, it means empowerment. And I don't want to bore listeners with all the common things that any digital marketing companies do. But I will give a good and some insights that people are not, or people should be seeing in the recent years. Is that, are you familiar with the SEO by any chance? Search
Yeah,
engine optimization. Okay, so that's kind of the, where you go to a search engine, you type in best dentist near me, and you find the top dentist on the first page of Google or local three pack, and you choose that dentist. And that's been sort of the go-to service for all digital marketing company, servicing local businesses and service businesses. But in the recent years, with AI-powered search engines like Perplexity, Claude, Gemini, ChatGPT, and you may experience this too, is that you sort of stop going to Google, or you kind of go to ChatGPT or AI engine right away and start searching, because it basically does all the work for you. It does the research for you, and you're sort of bombarded with all the paid ads on Google, and you're having to do research on top of research that you're already doing. Do you kind of reflect on that? Okay.
yes, yes,
And um do you use Google for search engine still?
yes.
Okay, okay. So have you ever experienced that
Mhm.
there's an AI overview sometimes and sometimes it doesn't? Do you
Yes.
do you know what triggers that AI overview?
I have no clue. I've noticed it most on my phone though.
Okay. Sometimes it triggers and sometimes it doesn't. So traditionally people would search like best taco near me, and it will not trigger the AI overview. It will just give you the three local places that you should go to, or all the paid ads on the bottom, right?
Right.
But if you make that into a question form and say, which restaurant has the best taco,
Okay.
right? And you guys can probably test this right now. Go to your phone and just ask a question instead of just typing in a phrase or a search
All right.
key, and it will trigger an AI overview. And when this happens, a consumer behavior shifts from just looking at the first page of Google to just stay on AI overview, because it gives me all the research and citation and references that I should be looking at.
Okay.
So we call this click-through rate. Click-through rate significantly drops when this AI overview happens, because you don't scroll down. You just stay on AI overview.
Okay.
Okay? And if you can anticipate what type of questions, now we understand how AI gets triggered, right?
Yeah.
If you can anticipate what type of questions your customers are asking before purchasing your product or services, you can literally write that as a blog, and title of the blog will be that question saying, who is the best dentist in Los Angeles? It will be literally the title of the blog, and you
Okay.
can just write a content about your practice or your business. And because AI is grabbing whatever data that's trying to answer the question that these consumers are asking, the likelihood of your content getting referenced or being cited, now it becomes it's probable. It's highly probable, right?
Yeah.
And again, I told you how consumers are now not even looking at other things, but just trusting everything about what AI is saying.
Right.
Again, if your business is referenced on AI, it's such an easy way to win that customer, right?
Yeah.
So something like that. We call that GEO. It's called abbreviation is for generative engine optimization.
Okay.
So that's kind of the new trend that people are not really doing and not leveraging. And as a service provider that is trying to not become a replicable or replaceable, that's something that we're trying to become a pioneer on, right?
Okay. Got you. Nice, man. I love it. Look, I'm gonna start playing around trying to figure that out a little bit. Yeah. Can I make myself marketable using I know
Yeah.
how. You just call Eddie Yee.
Yeah, or you can just call me and I'll do everything for you.
That's right. There we go. Call Eddie. So something I wanted to talk about, man. I thought was pretty cool. So now you say you're a parent, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
you're running what, seven businesses?
Five businesses
Five
total.
businesses. Okay, five businesses. And you're looking at completing your doctorate or going back to get your doctorate in psychology.
So my master's is in clinical psychology. And when I graduate clinical psychology, I I start seeing people with mental disorders and developmental disorders, and I didn't quite enjoy doing
Mhm.
that. So I immediately went back to school for PhD in business psychology, where you're taking the same concept of disorganized, disoriented business, and they're struggling with their growth.
Yeah,
Um, they're struggling with development. They're struggling with operations. They're struggling internally. So I can take them as an organization that is dysfunctional and try to find what's happening. Again, operationalize everything. What's working and what's not working. What are some of the measurable things that you see in the patterns of this when this business is running, right?
yeah.
So taking that, and I really enjoy doing that. So I went back to school for PhD in business psychology. So
Business psychology. Okay.
yeah, business psychology, and yeah, that's kind of what I practice. Is again taking. So I spend a lot of my time doing consulting while all my agencies are kind of doing their own thing, right?
Yeah.
Um, so just applying the concepts and the fundamentals that I learned from PhD program. I try to apply to all the clients that we serve. And again, I didn't create my businesses, or I didn't go to school just so that I can sell my services to other people. I
Mhm.
live in it. I live in it. My wife has a dental practice in Claremont, and she's again following every instruction that I give her, or the advice I give her.
Hold
And
on a
she's
second.
doing
Hold on. Let a lot of guys hear that. I'm sorry. Your wife is following a lot of instructions.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So again, she
I'm
as an owner of a
joking.
business,
Joking.
yeah, no, 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 I know. She as an owner of a business, she was never a practice owner, and I kind of pushed her. Hey, you should become a business owner. Like you're never gonna you're not gonna enjoy your life when you're in your 40s, 50s, taking orders from younglings and whatnot. Anyway,
Right.
she started her practice, and now she was kind of going through the same issues that every business owners go through. But yeah, now she's very happy with the way that the business is running,
That's cool.
and yeah, yeah.
Well,
So
congratulate Miss Yee on her momentum shift.
thank you, thank you.
Yeah, that's a big challenge right there. So there's a term that I saw in your write up was it hyper local cultural marketing? What exactly is that, and how do you use it?
My coaching.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, again, I mean, can I share my screen?
Sure, go ahead. You should be able to.
Yeah.
Not looking.
And again, I guess this will be like uh, PhD or MBA in fundamentals just in like probably 5 minutes.
All right.
This is an equation that every business goes through.
Okay.
Okay. If you look at the structure right here, this is an optimal business structure, a healthy business structure that every business must go through.
Okay.
Every business, okay? Regardless of the sector, the type of business, whatever it is gonna have similar format.
Okay.
Taco shack, massage parlor, burger stand, CPA firm, law firm, dental practice. Again, okay, let me show you how it works.
Okay.
So you're a business owner, you have a business philosophy, and therefore you have a business, right? You want to solve a problem out in the world that exists in the world, and now you have a business. Now, most of the time, they become the CEO, COO, sort of making their visions into an action items and smaller steps, right?
Right.
And then there's a CFO who kind of makes sense out of finances. Everything has to make sense, finances in terms of finance, right?
Yeah.
Again, so these three things are these top level executives are doing everything they can to make the business successful. But what business owners often forget is the importance of these three divisions on the bottom, right here, mid level.
Okay.
External division, fulfillment division, and internal division, right here.
Mhm.
And it's not only the division, it's a flow. It's a workflow, and it should go from left side to right side, and it comes back around. So it becomes a full cycle. Okay,
Okay.
then let me put some context behind this. Let's just say what's your favorite food?
Pizza.
Pizza. Okay, let's do pizza. Let's just do pizza. Okay, you have a pizza, and so you have an awesome recipe for pizza that nobody knows about, right? So you made a company out of it. You're a visionary, right?
Yes.
Now, you didn't make pizza just to serve it to your friends or family because that's not going to survive,
No.
right? You made pizza parlor because you wanted to serve to the public so you can scale, you can make money out of it, right? While solving the world problems of people wanting the best pizzas. So what do you have to do? The very first thing is from external division, you have to market your company. You have to let people know, and marketing is simple. You let people know you exist. That's literally all that is.
Yeah.
Letting people know you exist, that you make the best pizza in the world is the message you're trying to convey right here. Okay, when you do efficient marketing, people are going to start showing interest and they're going to start showing up to your brick and mortar shops and your pizza parlor and look at your menu and start ordering. Okay, that activity is sales, right? When you market and you sell whatever product or services you provide, okay, when people make an order, then it goes over to fulfillment division. Now you have to deliver on what you promised, right? You
Right.
have to produce exactly the way you put in the menu, or else you're a fraud, right?
Right.
So you do that over and over and over. Market, sale, deliver. Market, sale, deliver. You repeat this cycle over and over and over and over. Usually, the delivery and production happens by whom? Human capital. By we have to make the pizza, right?
Right.
I mean, it's now becoming more AI is more becoming a common tool to deliver and produce, but it's still human capital that makes a lot of things happen. Anyway, you repeat the cycle over and over and over. Market, sale, deliver. And people are going to start giving you feedback saying, do you have flatbreads? Do you have pasta? Do you only just serve pizza? And you start getting these type of feedback, right?
Yeah.
And 100 people you served, people about 70 people have asked for salad. All right. And you never think about salad when you first came up with a pizza place. So what do is that you push it over to internal division and research and development. This is the point I was talking about, is that you take this feedback and keep researching and keep developing new product or services or refine your existing service or product so it becomes something better,
Okay.
something that's improved. Okay. So you repeat this cycle over and over and over 100 times, 200 times to make sure that the salad that you're tossing tastes exactly the same 100, 200 times. We call that quality control,
Yeah. Okay.
right? So you document everything and you make that into job description, new recipe. What do you call that? Administration,
Mhm.
right? Okay. Now you have a perfectly servable new flatbread or salad or pasta, the new product or services you develop. What happens is the communication department goes, hey, marketing department, let everybody know we now are serving pasta. So now the service or the cycle begins again.
Okay.
That is the healthiest, okay, and optimized, efficient business structure that I
Right.
just kind of took you through. Okay.
Okay.
Many businesses can't do this
Okay.
per nor perfectly nor efficiently. They
Yeah.
usually because they're there's no in-house staff member that does marketing perfectly. There's no in-house person that does R&D perfectly or automate everything. So this is why I have a company in each of this division. I have a marketing company
Okay.
in that represents external division.
Okay.
I have an HR company that really does all the production and delivery, right? That's under fulfillment division.
Yeah.
And I have an AI company that handles the R&D, which is the internal division,
Okay.
right?
Nice.
So again, that's sort of the insight that I would like to share to the listeners that when you think about issues of your company, think about these bubbles that I'm sharing right now,
Right.
and you can kind of tell where the problem is occurring.
Yeah.
Okay. Many times though, like Mark Cuban, you know Mark Cuban?
Yes.
Yeah. Mark Cuban says that every problem in this operations could be solved by what? Sales.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you had the cash flow, you can throw money at the problem and it usually solved by itself, right?
Yeah.
So,
Right.
and the closest business activity to sales is what? Marketing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a
Yeah.
marketing genius. I got I also like Marcus Lemonis. Talks about people, processes, and products.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it, man. I like that. Where do you say most businesses fail or struggle with at?
Probably marketing, which is the very first step of business operations. It's
Gotcha.
because they think they make the best pizza and they don't tell people they exist. That's usually the problem.
Okay. Wow. Nice. Man, that's big. Thank you, man, for breaking that down. That's cool. You are the first to use a shared screen with my interviews.
Awesome.
First one. All right. Congrats. Over 100 episodes and you, my man, Eddie
I'm a visual person, so I
Yee.
like to,
I like it. You
yeah.
just created a shift I'm hoping other people will use as well. So speaking of shifting, man, let's talk about where you're going from here and what you have coming up.
Um, I strongly believe that in the next 5 years, there's going to be so many small agencies, one person businesses leveraging on AI and different automation tool is and again there's going to be a millions of influxes of businesses that are gonna just literally flow into the business world.
Yeah.
So next 5 years is gonna be again survival mode. Is how am I gonna make difference amongst all these companies that are coming up with new technology, new services, um, and we are trying to become on top of everything, right? With the amount of data that we're collecting from all these clients, we should leverage on that. We should utilize it. We should kind of develop research and development with those data that we're collecting. So next 5 years, of course, we're launching a couple of new products ourselves, and services ourselves. So trying to be on top of the game, and not become replaceable um, from these new businesses that are coming in. And of course, my going back to my personal, calling for having all these businesses, because for money, money is I see money as a tool,
Yeah.
not an objective, not a goal, not a purpose in life. It's a tool.
Gotcha.
And it's how you use this tool to make your time worthwhile and in your life meaningful.
Yeah.
Right? So my personal goal is to become a philanthropy philanthropist using leveraging my companies,
Nice.
not just giving back to the community like with the money figure, right? So, but if I have all these business portfolios, if business is struggling, if I know somebody in the community is having hard time and hard time existing in this world,
Mhm.
because you can give them money, but that's just a transactional. Like if you give them money, if you spend it, it's gone. It's not gonna help them survive long term.
Yes.
I'll probably use that money to give them free marketing is how I see this philanthropy work, right?
Okay.
If somebody's having a difficult time getting a job, I'll probably use my IHR company to find them a role or help them to develop a human capital that other companies need,
Okay.
right? So that's how I vision my life to be and all my businesses to be, because there's gonna be the point where I just need a certain amount of money to fulfill my life and sustain my life because I just need to pay my bills and have kids enjoy their movie theaters once in a while, right? I'm not looking for luxurious life. Again, I don't buy expensive things. That's not an objective for my life. So how I envision now 10, 15 years from now is be resourceful so that I can help those who are in need and not just giving out cash as a resource, but giving them an actual engine so
Right.
that they can survive through whatever the life we're gonna have in the next 10 to 15 years. So,
What's the saying? Teach a man how to fish and you feed him for a lifetime.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's the model. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it, man. Eddie, I love what you're doing, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Love what you're doing. So where how can they connect with you?
So call to action is you can go to ditansgroup.com. That spells DITANS group.com. Or I'm sure you're gonna have my contact information on that. Yeah, or you can text us, give us a call, message us. Again, we have a pretty fluid communication platform. So
Yeah. What's a great message to give them as you leave here that you want them to take away from your story, your work?
don't be afraid of changes, embrace the changes, and like Nike said, just do it.
Yeah, I love that, man. Hey, Eddie, man, like we said at the beginning, you truly are a momentum shifter, man. I want to thank you for the opportunity and thank you for joining me on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Anytime, my man, anytime. Hey, and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's it for this week's episode of the Momentum Shift podcast and radio show. Thank you for joining us. And always, like Eddie said, man, you just got to take a shot. You just got to take your shot and see what happens, right? What is it? Done is better than perfect, right?
Yep.
Did I say that correct?
Yep, that's right.
Or as the comedian says, get her done. Hey, until next week, just keep pushing because nobody's going to join us. Nobody's going to do it for you. Take care.
Thank you for joining The Momentum Shift, a show bringing you interviews and stories of incredible people to help you get inspired, get moving, and get results to ultimately create the life-changing momentum shift that will improve your life. Join host Eric Collier, the mayor of motivation and mental quicksand expert, every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern for The Momentum Shift, the show and change you've been looking for.